Oh, coming up this Sunday, we have the Super Bowl 2025. It's going to be an amazing game. We have the Seattle Seahawks going against the Patriots. We also have three other people here, of course, all according to the Quiet Life discussions topics. We're going to be discussing everybody's favorite views and opinions about what's going on this weekend. You guys are now tuned in to Quiet Life discussions. Thank you guys for coming in. We have CJ, KP, and we have Kenny. Everybody want to say hi to everybody that's going on?
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Good to have everybody for a second. It's good to have everybody. Let me get my cam going on instead of it being so dark. But so today we have a quick discussion going on, probably about an hour minute or hour 30 minute discussion for you guys. We're gonna discuss our fan favorites to win the championship, which everybody should know what mine is according to my shirt. You guys should see it right now, of course, of course. We're gonna start down the line. We're gonna go in a little quick segment. We're gonna go down the line real quick. Right now, we have our first operator. We're gonna go up to C-Babe. You are now going to be on the clock. You're gonna tell us what your fan favorite is. You're gonna tell us why you think it is. If you have any, proof of evidence for the guys in the back, then go ahead and show us. We're all here for you. Just let us know, and we're all
How much
here.
time do I have? 30. How much
Um,
time do I have?
that would you say one more time?
How much time do I have? Time.
You got about like 5 minutes,
Uh,
brother. How
yeah,
you gonna
five
what you gonna do
minutes.
with the
Okay.
five
All right.
minutes?
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? My name is CBay. I go by the name of CJ, Charles, however you want to call me. And I am a diehard Patriots fan. So obviously, I believe that the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 60. And reason number one I'll start with is because of the fact that the Patriots are 9-0 on the road. Technically, they are the home team in this Super Bowl, but I mean, however, a Super Bowl in a neutral zone is a neutral playing zone, so you're not really a home or an away team. But besides the fact, yes, I understand the Patriots had a subpar performance offensively in the past three opponents against the Chargers, against the Texans, and even against the Broncos. However, they found a way to win all of those games, and the defense improved from the regular season. So, with that being said, Drake May is the only quarterback this season to throw three touchdowns against the so-called generational Houston Texan defense. So, I believe that that alone should let people show the fact that Drake May is legit. He's not, he's not a slouch. And obviously today he lost the MVP vote by one vote, but that's a topic for another day. And I think the main takeaway from this is gonna set the Patriots up top is Drake May's legs. I feel like in the games that we saw against the Seahawks, we saw a Stafford and we saw a Purdy. Both of those two quarterbacks didn't really run as much, and one thing about Drake May, he had the most rushing yards this season, and they were all off of scrambles. He had the most scramble yards, but not most rushing yards by a quarterback. So he had the most scramble yards by any quarterback this season. So what that means is all those scrambles are sometimes non-designed QB runs or just his improvisation and his running ability. And I think that if he utilizes it correctly, it's going to set the Patriots up top to beat the Seattle Seahawks because Seattle has a great, phenomenal run defense. We all know that they have a very good defense, and the Patriots have beat great defenses this whole season, so it's what Drake May does. And not to mind you, or not to sugarcoat anything, but Drake May this playoff has beat three top five defenses in the Chargers, in the Broncos, and in the Texans. So I have full confidence in him. And the Patriots run defense. The Seattle Seahawks are a little bit crippled in their run games because of the fact that Zach Charbonnet, who was their leading touchdown this season, is injured, of course. So that leads Kenneth Walker being the lone running back. And I believe that the Patriots' run defense is going to step up and it's going to come in handy in many ways. Milton Williams and Kyrus Tonga are the two big backs in the middle, and they also have Christian Barmore. And I think that if they can stop the run game, the passing defense of the Patriots is going to be able to step up and make plays when they need to make plays. And lastly, sorry, takeaways. The Patriots are a very opportunistic defense, and they take advantage of miscues and they take advantage of wrong plays in the playoffs. In this playoffs, we saw CJ Stroud throw four interceptions in the first half, I mean, a lot of people are crediting that towards, of course, the bad performance of CJ Stroud, but you also have to give the defense some credit. Mike Vrabel he's been throwing in some great defensive plays, and him and the defensive coordinator have been throwing looks that people are like, "Well, what are you guys running?" Because even I believe after the Chargers game, one of the Chargers players said, "We had no idea what you guys were running on defense. You guys were having like disguised plays that like look like one thing, but they were completely opposite." So I feel like all that's gonna come, and the veteran mindset of McDaniel's, of Vrabel, it's gonna help them win the game. And that concludes my 5 minutes.
That's perfect. You actually have 5 seconds to spare. That was perfect timing. I see where you're coming from in that standpoint. I do think that's a pretty good standpoint for the Patriots, so to speak. I have no hate in my heart towards it. Yeah, so we all see where CJ's coming from. So far we have one for the Patriots that's going on. Please comment down below who you guys are choosing, either the Seahawks or the Patriots coming up this Sunday. Please let us know. Moving on to our next caller, we do have Kenword, my Ken dog. What's going on, man? Who's you choosing for this upcoming Sunday? Who are you choosing, man?
Man, what's going on, y'all? I can't lie. As an NFC boy, I have to take the Seattle Seahawks. And it's no hate on the Patriots, but in all honesty, simply the Seahawks play better defense away from home than they do at home. When you look at the stats, the Seahawks in the first half away from home average a whopping 6.6 points in a half. No offense scores in a half against them. And that is big time in the biggest game of the year. I will not lie. If the Patriots can somehow come out swinging and score at least 7, maybe 10, it might be a different game. But I feel like Seattle has that edge of playing away from home. The Patriots might have had a better chance of them playing in Seattle, in all honesty. But Seattle has just gone out through this whole year and just played better on the road. When they're on the road, Seattle allows less than 250 yards. That is insane in a 48-minute game. The fact that Seattle just allows 250 yards is insane. Don't get me wrong, the Patriots offense is always cooking. It's it's amazing. But you can't deny the why Seattle's here. It's just their dominating defense. And in all honesty, we might see Drake may have to use his legs a lot because I feel like Seattle's led by DeMarcus Lawrence is just too good of a pass rush to just allow Drake May to stay in that pocket. And that's where realistically Drake May feels comfortable a lot of the times. It's just filling out the game, understanding what's going on. I wouldn't be shocked if you just see Seattle blitz heavy. I wouldn't be shocked if you see a lot of cover twos, see make pretty much make the Patriots offense work more than ever. I think, in my opinion, the X factor, and I'm gonna say it right now, the Super Bowl MVP is not gonna be an offensive player. It's gonna be a defensive player from either team. But my Super Bowl MVP would be Ernest All Pro Jones. There is no way that you can allow a Patriots team that uses that run game a lot to win the yardage in close games. And I'm telling you, down the hole, if you tell me Ernest Jones or Henderson, I'm going Ernest Jones 10 out of 10 times. He's just been that good this season. He has 6 INTs this season. He has a total of 126 total tackles. This dude was all pro for a reason. He was snubbed out of the Pro Bowl, but that really doesn't matter no more. But like, I believe that dude is going to be the X factor. As good as the Patriots offense will be, you have to score. And clearly, if Seattle's going to win this in a defensive battle, I don't think in general the Patriots want to get into a defensive battle. You'd rather have it be a shootout than be a defensive battle because for some odd reason they just play better on the road. That's pretty much what I feel like is most likely going to happen, and I completely understand where Patriots fans come from. But as an NFC boy, I gotta go with the NFC brother.
Okay, okay. So Seems like we're kind of split down the middle now. We're kind of getting into an interesting point in here, fans. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So now we got one on the Patriots side, one on the Seattle side. It's looking pretty iffy, boys. I don't know how this is gonna go. I know how we can fix it. Going to our next guy. So hey, KP, you here with us, brother? You ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So been waiting on this year, the upcoming tiebreaker for as a mean the two. See how this goes real quick. Same rules apply. You have 5 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna restart the timer for you so we can get to that. And we're gonna see where you're coming from, who you think is gonna win, and how you think this is gonna go. So starting now, the floor is all yours.
All righty. I appreciate you. What's going on with you guys? So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the Seattle's defense. Their defense is incredible. I'm not gonna lie. Compared to the Seahawks, excuse me, the New England Patriots, points allowed per game, 17.1. They are ranked number one in the NFL just solely off that. Adding on to that, they have 47 sacks plus 18 interceptions. So, not adding into the fumbles, they are covering every aspect of the field that they have to. Another thing, um, rushing yards allowed, 91.9. That is insane. On the topic of what Kenny was saying, with the duration of how long a game goes on, and to be able to be effective, and they went against a lot of good running backs this season. You know what I'm saying? So to hold certain teams and certain players under that average, or to that small threshold, that is top tier defense. Passing yards, they allow 193, while the Patriots average 193. So it kind of evens out, but at the same time, they can't let Drake May, actually get ramped up, because of the fact when he does, it gets mighty scary. So, speaking on that topic, points per game, the Patriots average 28.8 points a game. So they put numbers up fast. We all seen a game against the Houston Texans, and that's an incredible defense. Outside of what the Seahawks has ever did, next has to come the Houston Texans defense, because they actually did incredible things on the defensive end, from the line to the middle linebackers to the DBs. Did everything they were supposed to do. It's just unfortunate, certain things happen to where, the eggs just don't line up, and the better team won that day. But to give up 4 picks and a half is kind of hard to, get on that level of winning, when you're not really holding the quarterback that you're going against under his standard, because Drake May still had an amazing game. Speaking of Drake May, one vote shy of the MVP. That doesn't discredit the amazing season he had. 4,300 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, with only 8 interceptions, while having a 72% completion passing percentage. So that's amazing. Trayvon Henderson, amazing running back. Almost hitting 1,000 yards, 911 with 9 touchdowns, with 180 carries, with 5 yards on top of that. Beautiful. And then you got Stephon Diggs, you know what I'm saying, coming from the Houston Texans. Everybody was counting him out. He ended up surpassing 1,000 yards with 4 touchdowns and 85 receptions. It was a beautiful season for the Patriots, but I think I'm going to go ahead and have to go with the Seattle Seahawks. That defense is incredible. The number one defense in the league. Third down, allow 32%, excuse me, and red zone touchdown percentage 50%. So it's a hit or miss, but once they get a stop, you're gonna have to really, if you choose to go for it on fourth down, you're gonna really have to put that pressure on them. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Seattle Seahawks, excuse me, just solely based off that defense.
All right. So folks, y'all heard it here first. So far we have one Patriots, two Seattle. Last up is me, but It's not too hard to speak for myself. Everything I do has to bleed, blue and lime green. That's just what we do. It's Seattle over here, baby, all day, every day. It's not much to go for it. You guys heard the statistics that were coming from everybody else. You heard that was going on and everything. But I'm gonna get into the heart of it. And I just want to show one quick clip here. This is be my prime reason as to why I would like to believe that the Seahawks are able to do exactly what they want, when they want, how they want, and when it happens, they will get it done. Strictly solely off of one person, Sam Darnold. And it's not just that. Oh, excuse me, boys. I might have jumped besides myself. I might have showed y'all some defensive clips. Excuse me. We'll get back to that. But Sam Darnold, in one general aspect, he does one great thing, and that's throw that ball deep every single time he sees somebody that's down there. And it's not only with just Rashid Shaheed, a great pickup that we got from the Saints earlier this season. That was wonderful. I'm glad that we're able to get somebody of his stature, somebody that's able to take down. But we also have JSN. Okay, we have somebody who is arguably unguardable, unstoppable, and always there. The number one receiver in the league, only second to Puka Nakua himself. One great aspect of a player right there. But as I'm going forward, just mentioning Sam Darnold is my prime aspect, and he's my main reason for showing and why I think personally that we're going to have into a great game today. Of course, we can speak on our defensive standpoint. I think everything is going on, and I do think defense wins championships. But at the end of the day, I would like to mention that Sam Darnold has had a story, and everybody's going around saying it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's mentioning it. They're bringing it up. It's a hot topic, as a matter of fact. Been to arguably what about 5, 6 different teams. Nobody really wants to give him a chance, but at the same token, he's been here before. Nobody might remember it, or they might not think about it, or might not bring it up, or anything that goes on. But he's been here before. Might have been a backup, but he's been here before. He has that type of charisma, that type of aura. He understands what he has to do. He knows the environment. He knows what happens. He's able to calm himself down under that type of pressure and to keep moving forward. That's what I'm glad for. We have a quarterback who's ready for this type of moment, and I do believe he does have his fuck ups. To bring up a standpoint, he has thrown 4 picks in one game as well. Same thing as C.J. Stroud. I will pick up on that. And it was arguably against the best team in the league, Rams. It's kind of hard to beat that. They also got the MVP. Shout out to Matthew Stafford. Did his damn thing. But I've been calling this out since the beginning of the year. If I had clips, I'll roll it back so everybody can see it. But Matthew Stafford, shout out to you. But this is a Seahawks day. This is a Seahawks representation for me that I would like to put out there. Speaking on Sam Darnold, he is the greatest to me right now. But as a standpoint that I feel like everybody needs to peek on and remember, we're no longer in the Legion of Boom era, but we're now more moving into a more of a dark side era. Okay, now so to speak, we have somebody who likes to show out the most over the dark side era, and that's Nick E-Man Warrior. One hell of a player, one hell of a ball out player. We also have Tariq Woolen, somebody who does not like the ball to go anywhere higher than what his head is. That is hard to stop. It's hard to stop a defense who is willing to be there at every step of the way that you are, every moment that you're about to throw that ball, every time that you're about to run that ball. It's kind of hard to stop that. But at the same token, I can't be biased because anything can happen. Because we can also backtrack maybe about 10 years ago about what happened. We're not going to bring it up. The dark moment. Y'all know the dark moment. That's why we came the dark side. Okay. But
Yeah.
it hurts. Every time you bring it up in the Seattle head, man, it's all we've been hearing about for the past 10 years. So this is our redemption game. You know what I mean? So that's my pick for today. Where we're gonna do our best and try to make up for what we lost that last time. So to move a little fast pace on the topic, I almost ran out because it was actually 10 seconds left, and I'm gonna keep moving forward. We're gonna go on to everybody's choices between teams, defense and offense creatively. Down the line pick, there will be your favorite quarterback, your favorite offensive line, receiver core, defensive line, linebacker, and then to finish off, we will secondary for the linebacker and second. So same as last time. We'll do 5 minutes down the stretch. Same order, no different. We'll see what everybody's pick is. We'll start with CJ. So CJ, I'm gonna ask you to start off. What is your favorite pick between the Seattle Seahawks and the Patriots quarterback and offensive line. So we're going to start off with the offensive side of the ball. Who do you feel like has the upper hand in a non-biased standpoint?
Obviously, I feel like, I mean, between the quarterbacks, you can't not name Drake May in this argument here. I mean, he is the MVP candidate, of course. So how could you not include him in the mix? And I believe of the two, yes, Sam Darnold has more experience, of course. Yes, we can't deny that. However, the season that Drake May is having is a historic season, and I believe that because he didn't get the MVP, because Robert Kraft didn't make the Hall of Fame, because Bill Belichick didn't make the Hall of Fame, it's like everyone has a rule out factor. The Patriots, so they're like, well, to heck with it, we're the underdogs, and including the offensive line that you mentioned, I believe that the Seattle Seahawks have the better offensive line, no doubt about it. The Patriots I think are going to be the first team that's starting two rookies on the offensive line, and that is going to be rookie left tackle Will Campbell and rookie left guard Jared Wilson. And in these playoffs, Will Campbell, after the injury, has been a little shaky. Despite before the injury in the regular season, he's had a very, very good, I would say, rookie campaign for a rookie left tackle protecting Drake May's blind side. But after the injury, he's gone against some comp. In that game against the Texans, he was getting killed by Will Anderson Jr., by Daniil Hunter, and even against the Chargers, he was getting killed by Tuli Tuipulotu, getting killed by Khalil Mack. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough guarding Demarcus Lawrence, guarding Leonard Williams, and guarding the defensive tackles of the Seahawks. But no doubt about it, I have faith in the Patriots because of the fact that we see Drake May scramble more than we see Sam Darnold scramble. Sam Darnold, of course, can scramble if the pocket is open, but that's not the kind of offense to run in Seattle. And I feel like Drake May is aware of that. He's aware that his O-line has some faults, and he's aware that his O-line isn't the greatest to any terms. However, if they give him time, as we've seen him do in the past, he's gonna thread that needle. And when that needle's threaded, he's gonna get a play to Booty over the top, or to Diggs in the slot, or to Kyle Williams electric speed over the top. So I believe that yes, Drake May is a better quarterback within the mix. However, the Seahawks have the better offensive line. And like I said, Sam Darnold has, I think, the second most interceptions in this season. So it is a little shaky with that being said because of the fact that he's thrown 14 interceptions. But no doubt about it, if you give him time, he's gonna read the defense just like Drake May will. So that's my 2 cents between the quarterback and the offensive line between the two teams.
Hey, and to that to a standpoint, I agree with a lot of that. Not my turn. Yeah, we'll get. So, Kenword, you still there, buddy? Of course, we know you. You know what I'm saying? Got some good takes. We'd like to hear yours. We want to know, for the next 5 minutes, what is your take on the two teams, quarterback, offensive line, and if you do want to have the input early, you can. The floor is all yours, starting right now. Kenword, you there, buddy?
I just want to add, I don't think no one's gonna choose the Patriots receivers, obviously, because the Seahawks have the AP Offensive Player of the Year, and he's a hell of a player. So yeah,
All
that's
right, can
just
you
my
hear me
two
now?
cents
There you
about this.
Yep.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Yep. Now we can hear
go. So it's kind of hard to choose. No, it's not hard to choose a quarterback. Let's be honest. He probably had the greatest sophomore year we probably ever seen in football. He jumped from what, maybe a 60, 59 completion percentage last year to 70, one bolt off the MVP. It's kind of difficult to not go with Drake May as the better quarterback out of the two. And that's completely fine because I don't think that affects Sam Darnold in any way. Yes, he has his pick problems, and yes, he struggles in big games previously in on the Vikings and pretty much through his whole career until he got to this moment. Yes, absolutely it happens, but in all honesty, there's it's just way too difficult to be like, you know what, I'll take Sam Donald. No, it's Drake May. I think any if both coaches had to choose, they most likely would be honest and like, yeah, Drake May is that good because he is, and that's completely fine. Offensive line, there's It's a no doubt, man. The Seahawks offensive line is so good, and that is nothing to discredit how good the New England Patriots offensive line can be in the future. They have a lot of young pieces in that offensive line room, but like it's kind of hard to compete when you're already here and there's a team that has been built for this realistically. Like they just added Sam Darnold and they're in the Super Bowl. They had Geno Smith that was probably statistically the worst quarterback in the league last year, technically this year. And they added Sam Darnold and they're in the Super Bowl. Like if that isn't like the most insane concept in football, I don't know what is. But Seattle's offensive line is just it's funny enough, like when you really look at Seattle's offensive line, it doesn't pop. Because it doesn't. It's not fancy. It's offensive line. A lot of people don't really care about offensive line. But the main part that makes Seattle offense move realistically is Kenneth Walker. And what's his name? Zach what?
Charbonnet.
There you go. There you go. Like
Hit
it's just
me. That's that
that
buddy.
like and it's crazy because
He's
funny
also hurt,
enough,
by the way.
yeah,
Ah,
and that's fine. For some odd reason, it's just they know how to scheme it. It's weird. Like if when you watch Seattle, it's just I don't know. It's beautiful to run. Like as a Bears fan, you see a little bit of that run offense that the Bears run it too. Like it's just it's funny to watch. But like in all honesty, even with Kanon, for some odd reason, man, I would take Henderson over Kanon because Henderson has proven that he can run the ball back in the kickoff too. Like people forget he could play in special teams and he can start and he can be the focal point in the running game. But I, that's just how football is. It's weird. People are so dynamic, and that's nothing to discredit Kanon. I feel like Kanon is very underrated, which is crazy. A couple years ago, Kanon was really like loved. Everyone was like, Kanon is the next guy up. He had an injury, and now everyone's like underrating him a little bit. But yeah, like that's just how I feel about the running back room there, and like the receiving core. Like, let's be serious. Like, I don't think just by JSN alone, give me just one JSN and forget about the whole receiving core in New England. Like this dude, realistically, if you could put three people on this dude, you need to put three people on this dude. Like that's how good he is. Like we're talking about maybe the best wide receiver in football. Is it a hot take? I don't think it's a hot take no more. Like as good as Jettis is, as good as Jamar Chase is, as good as shit, I don't even know. I think I ran out of names to say. Like, bro, the dude is that good. And I think like even though Christian Gonzalez is great, people are gonna have their hands full. And that's just how good he is. And like people forget about the tight end room. Their names don't pop. But as soon as that ball hits their hands, everyone's like, who's that dude? And that tight end room, for some odd reason in Seattle, it just works. It just works. And like that's realistically how I feel about this whole offensive dynamic. One team has the best quarterback possible, and then oddly enough, the other team just has every great piece around it to where a good quarterback or a great quarterback can come in and win a Super Bowl.
hey, perfect timing because you had 20 stuff. So go ahead and say this. I like that argument. That one in particular. We all know, of course. But moving forward, I can't be biased, of course, and not on here, not on this show, not at this time, not at this hour. But going on moving forward, we also have one more caller down the line, and I'm pretty sure his is going to pop and surprise everybody. KP, my man, what's happening? We have the same rules and allegations for going on. We would like to give you 5 minutes of the time frame to let us know who your favorite quarterback, offensive line, and if you do have a choice for us, the receivers, then if you would like to let us know those too. The floor is now officially yours, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the quarterbacks. I'm gonna go ahead and give it at the end. Um, Drake May, Sam Darnold. There's nothing really more I can say. Two top five at least quarterbacks this season really put it all on the line, and now they're here. Last game of the season, and it's all for the marbles. You know what I'm saying? Start off with Drake May. Man, 4,300 passing yards. You know, beautiful. You know, and to have the amazing, you know, receiving core that he does have, you know, it just adds on to everything that he's done accomplish. You know what I'm saying? Sam Darnold with 4,048, and he's still right there with 25 touchdowns. But Drake May, he edges him out with the 31. But Drake May with the 72% completion, is that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? To throw that many passing yards with that percent of completion, that's amazing. Then the passing rating being 113.5. I mean, come on, man, you can't get better than that. And then you got Sam Darnold with 67.7% with the completion rate. That's still good. You know what I'm saying? Could tweak it a little bit, been a little better. I feel like that 4 interception game kind of hurt him a little bit. But prior to that game, he was playing phenomenal. You know, he went against my New Orleans Saints, and you know they did what they were supposed to do with them being the top team in the NFL, and you know you kind of expect it. And you know, Sam Darnold with 14 interceptions and Drake May with 8, but with Drake May, you know, being that versatile quarterback he is, he also put up 450 rushing yards as a quarterback. Now, for him to do that with 4 rushing touchdowns on top of that, it's amazing. The only thing I say that might really hurt them in this Super Bowl, the sacks. He got sacked 47 times. You know what I'm saying? Compared to Sam Darnold's 27. You know, I understand it's a game where, you know, you want to look for, you know, the best option you try to have downfield or any type of check downs. But when that's not there, Drake May is more than willing and able to use his feet. I feel like if he would have used his feet a little bit more during the season, he could have probably came close to eclipsing 1,000 rushing yards. That's just that's just, you know, just off of him getting out of the pocket. 47 sacks by somebody who's a mobile quarterback versus 27 to someone who's not as mobile. You know, that you got to get out that pocket. So I'm still gonna take Drake May in this sense, you know, just off of his passing. But when it comes to that offensive line, now that we're on that topic, you know, 47 sacks to your quarterback, that's not the best you can't give up that many. You know, that's well too many. And then you know, dealing with the Seattle Seahawks offensive line, top tier, Charles Cross, 821 snaps played and only gave up 2 sacks. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? 14 games played. You know what I'm saying? 5 penalties. He's real disciplined. You and with the PFF overall with a 73.2, that's amazing for an offensive line. Now, for him to be able to go against all the top players, you know, especially on that defensive line, he's still managing to hold his own. Abraham Lucas, what more can I say? You know, 1,000 snaps, 4 sacks given up, 4 penalties, 17 games played, amazing. Anthony Bradford, same thing, 1,000 snaps, 3 sacks gave up, 4 penalties, amazing. You know what I'm saying? Now we're going to get to the Patriots offensive line. Beautiful stats on them. 3 players with more than 1,000 snaps. That's amazing. You know what I'm saying? That's real top tier protection on their end. Will Campbell. I know he's early into his career. You know, he has a long, luscious career ahead of him, and he's gonna be fine. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to worry about. There's a lot of things that could have been played out more horrible than what it could have been. But the criticism that he's getting, it could have went 10 times of what they're actually saying, but it can't really apply to him like that because he only gave up 5 sacks. And yes, he gave up seven penalties, but that's okay. He's a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He's into his he's getting that sure welcome of, you know, this is my first season. I got nothing but vets around me that can help me get more comfortable with the position that I'm at, and with him playing at such a top tier, you know, team in the New England Patriots. That's something that, you know, I know all the vets around him are going to be able to, you know, embrace him and put him in the right situations to where that mental game for him will never be a factor. You know what I'm saying? And feel like the New England Patriots offensive line can get the job done as long as, like Tyler said, the blitzing. They got to get that under control early because of the fact this is the number one defense in the league. So they're gonna have to show early that they are the number one defense in the league. But at the same time, we got Drake May in that pocket, So that's it's a beautiful hand in hand because you get the yin with the yang, you get the hot with the cold. So uh I'm just really, excited to see this Sunday. But as far as players, I'm gonna go with Drake May. And as far as the offensive line, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, okay. So it sounds down the line. So far, we have everybody agreeing down the line, and to piggyback off of what everybody's saying, I'm calling as much bias as I want to be because y'all know I love to see how the Seahawks. If you had to poke a hole in me, I'd probably bleed in the same colors that I'm wearing right now. No different. But Sam Darnold, I feel like you are a great quarterback and you've done a lot for us. You've led us the long way down to 14 games of a W, allowed us to be first in the league. But with that being said, for quarterbacks, I'm gonna have to go with Drake May because that man is just fucking. Excuse my language, everybody. Excuse everybody. But god dang, that man right there is a quarterback in the flesh. Okay. Now, when it comes down to passing the ball, he might not be perfect 24/7, but maybe about 18 out of those 24 hours, he's getting it done every single time with the boy. Now, to kind of do a split pick towards both, and I don't really have too much to say on both sides of that. But the line is the reason why he has become the number one scrambler among majority of the quarterbacks. So he's number one in the rushing yards for quarterbacks and doing his damn thing. Only one behind Matthew Stafford, the MVP of this year himself, is Drake May of the New England Patriots. For him to even make it this far stands for what he has to be. He's been getting done. On the field, he's a menace. As a leader, he's a leader among leaders. He's getting it done. This is his second year, and he's handled it like he should be. And to already be in the MVP talks in the second year, I think he has a bright, bright, very bright future inside this league. That's number one. So I'm gonna have to give my quarterback pick to Drake May. As much as I love you, Sam, you don't see this out there, man. Don't hate on me. I still love you. I really hope that you do what you do for us on Sunday, but I'm gonna have to give it to Drake May. He's something special. Nothing changed. That's one quarterback that I wish, all right, Sam, you don't hate me. But 200%, like to piggyback off of what I just said a second ago, I'm gonna have to pick the Seattle line. Of course, my line, I feel like we're the greatest because that allows us to get the opportunities that we have. Without our line, once again, I could bring this back up inside the pick that is going on with Sam, not Sam, excuse me, but with Sam, yes. Look at this line pick here. Look at the line protection from everybody that is on this line correct down the line. So we have one, two, two on this one middle block right here. We have the left guard along with our center holding off number, what is this, 81 right down the line for Los Angeles. That is a perfect block. Now off to the right, we also have another perfect double team coming over here right here down the lane. That is perfect. Being able to hold something down like that is essential for a quarterback to have. And we also have our two ends on both sides of the field are doing what they need to be and holding off their stuff. So to go back onto that, this is the outcome of the play. Was allowed to be thrown a perfect dot pass to run up and go forward, moving towards a first down for our team moving down that lane. So once again, I'm gonna have to pick the Seattle Seahawks as far as for offensive line because it doesn't get any better than that. Nobody can hold that much of a block and just not get anything going. So my hard pick is gonna be onto them, and I'll get to my wide receivers in a second. But to flip around the pace for a second, real quick, we're gonna go ahead and go to our defensive side of the ball. We're going to see what everybody's picks for defense is. Starting down the line, yes, of course, it's the same deal. Okay, we have CJ. We would like you to go first and let us know who would you like to pick between the two teams among their defensive line and their defensive secondary. What are your choices? The floor is all yours. Next five.
So regarding the defense is a very, very, very tricky situation because Yes, ultimately Seattle's defense is very good. We all know that. However, they have some weak links, and I will say that Seattle has the edge on in terms of the edge rushers. Of course, Milton Williams, or sorry, of course, Demarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams are elite pass rushers, and the Patriots' edge rushers this season have kind of been finicky by any means. They have Harold Landry and they have Caleb Von Chasson. Caleb Von has had some big plays this season. He has came up clutch a few times, but he's not delivered to the extent of how the Seahawks edge rushers have delivered. And on the interior of the Patriots is where their bread and butter and where their strong side is. Milton Williams is rated one of the best pass rushing DTs by PFF, and behind them they have um, Christian Barrymore, and they also have Kyrus Togger, who they kind of cycle in between plays whenever they need to have more depth. So I believe that the defensive line is very tricky because, of course, as I said, the Seahawks have the edge on the edge rushers, the outside rushers, but on the interior side of the defense, the Patriots do have the advantage. And let's not forget, people, that Milton Williams was the main person that made a big plays in this last Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes, where he was on the Eagles. I believe he had a strip sack fumble against Patrick Mahomes, which was a very, very electrifying play, and that kind of changed the trajectory of the game. In terms of the linebackers, the Seattle linebackers have been playing really, really, really well. Of course, the Patriots have no Pro Bowlers. I mean, a lot of that is disrespect, in my opinion. No doubt, no doubt about it. Robert Spillane is great. Christian Ellis has been fantastic. He's been picking it up this season. And Jack Gibbons, he's been well as a rotational piece, but Seattle's linebackers is where they get a lot of their disguise and where they get a lot of their coverage sacks and coverage, of course, interceptions. But when it comes to the secondary, no doubt about it, Christian Gonzalez is a top cream of the crop cornerback. I think in this matchup, he's not going to shadow JSN, and I wouldn't want him to shadow JSN. In the past, we've seen Belichick defenses kind of do like a double bracket, which means that they double the team's best cornerback and they let pretty much the other team beat him. Everyone else on that team beat him. So what that means is if JSN's going to be bracketed with a safety over the top and Christian Gonzalez, that means Shahid's going to have to be his matchup, and that means that Jake Bobo or Cooper Cup are going to have to be their matchups. And I think the Seahawks have better safeties ultimately, but however, that can slightly change because Nick Emanuori did just injure his ankle in practice, and I think Mike McDonald said that he is 100% ready to go. He suffered a low-grade ankle sprain, but from the videos that I've been seeing, he has been walking with a limp, and he can be 100%. But I mean, an ankle sprain on a Thursday, on a Wednesday, and you're playing a game on a Sunday, that can be very hard. And if he's gonna play, if he's not 100, in my opinion, there's no point in playing him. But it is the biggest game and the biggest stage, so of course they're gonna want to play him. But if he's crippled, that's gonna hurt them more, and it's gonna help them. And of course, the Patriots will find a way to expose that. I believe that Josh McDaniels will find a way to exploit that defense, but it's very close, the defense. And like I said, the Patriots have the better cornerbacks, but the better safeties goes to the Seahawks. So that is my 2 cents on the defense.
That's a very I actually like it. I think that was a great go by. We're gonna if we have somebody who challenges your aspect that we agree with you have going. So Ken Dog, you there, buddy? Making sure
Yes, of
you
course I am.
yes, sir. We got the same, the same rules, no different. You got about 5 minutes on the clock. We would like to know um who is your pick between the defensive line and the secondary between Seattle and Patriots, or is officially
Funny enough, like a lot of the notes I had was pretty much the same way that CJ did specify. Like the edges are Seattle. It's like bar none, but like New England's for some odd reason their interior D line is very, very good. Scary good. It's just like how do I explain this? Like I feel like teams struggle to run it up the middle on a team like the Patriots. But that's always been their bread and butter, realistically. If you look back in the Belichick days, and if you just look back in general, that's where New England has always been deadly. Like you run the ball down the middle, most likely, and now they're going to force a turnover, or if not, it's going to be a TFL, and that's completely fine. Their biggest issue, like I've stated before, like their biggest issue is that they're not supposed. Technically, I mean, you earned the spot, but like you're not supposed to be here. You're still building on to something that can be a dynasty. Like a lot of the guys are what agent vets, and it's just like little bits and pieces. But like regardless, they're here, and why not spoil fucking Super Bowl and be like, you know what? We don't need to build. We can win right now. So honestly, with hunger and just like they haven't really played, they haven't played a team like the Seahawks. The Seahawks do have the better defensive line, but I wouldn't be shocked if you see the Patriots being a little bit better there. You might see a little scheme here, a little scheme there. Just make it a little more challenging. But in my opinion, when it goes back to the linebacker room, dog, I already said my piece on who I got from my Super Bowl MVP pick. 10 years ago in Super Bowl 50, Von Miller won it as a linebacker. Why not repeat history 10 years later? That's just Ernest Jones is probably a top three. We'll say top three linebacker this year. Like it's been undeniable. In all honesty, it's just he's been that good. You can the Seahawks rotate a lot of guys, and that's the best part about it. It's just when you rotate a lot of guys and they can still produce at a high level, that is special because you never know what's going to happen. We've seen it with the 49ers. Like, shout out to the 49ers. They've been hurt all year long. And practice squad players come in and they still somehow, some way, they produce next man up mentality. That's big time, especially with your rotation of guys, especially in a playoff run and in the Super Bowl. You never know who's going to show up. Not what was it 9, 10 years ago that faithful dark side happened to your Seattle Seahawks, and
Hard.
it made a DB get a big contract off of one play. Realistically, it's the Super Bowl. Anyone can have a moment. It's the biggest game of the year. It's the biggest moment of your life. Anything can happen in the Super Bowl. And I, when it comes to DBs, Go Gonzalez is just at a whole nother level. And it's funny because like, oh my god, he's so good that it's shocking how good he is. And really, and he's what do you expect? How do I explain this? Funny enough, he's one of those guys that he makes a play out of nothing. It's actually crazy to watch because like you're pretty much focused on okay, he's playing on the left side of the field, he's in a zone, he's on a flat. This dude sometimes would leave the flat and play a whole corner out and make a play on that. To me, that's special. Like he doesn't follow a scheme. He's that good on instincts that he can do anything he wants. And I think that's honestly great. That makes a great, uh, and honestly, that makes a great defense when you can trust your guys to make plays like that, big time plays.
Answer.
But man, that Seattle secondary is just like, how do I explain this? My first exposure of Tyreek Woodland was in college. I seen this dude that 6'4", runs what a 4.45, something around there.
Yep.
Supposed to be a safety, plays cornerback.
That's a
This
dog.
dude this dude what had like maybe 14 passes defended this year.
Dog, man.
That's a big body. Then we got Devon Witherspoon that a lot of people forget about.
Yep.
Funny enough,
You know, and a lot of
like
facts, man.
these dudes, like I say, like it sounds so bad, but it's the truth. Seattle has built a win now moment. Every pick that they have, like funny enough, if you look at the offensive line 4 years ago, well, it was 22, but like 4 years ago, they got Abraham Lucas. That's their center. Is it their center? No, I think that's their tackle. That's one of the tackles. And
Part of
he
the
missed a lot of
line.
time.
That's all that matters. He's part of the line.
He's part of the line. Funny enough, he's part of the line. He missed a lot of games coming into this season. Guess what? He didn't miss that. He didn't miss a game. Like these dudes have legit went through a whole phase of this is what we need to do, and this is what we need to do to win. This isn't a Legion of Boom. This isn't oh, throwback. This is a team that can be like, if we win a Super Bowl now, we can come back next year and win it again.
Yep.
This is a team that can legit say, we're here for the long time. This is not a joke. This is not a fluke. We can come back and win this. And that secondary, I'm sorry. Next year, if they somehow, some way find a stud in the draft, this secondary becomes even better.
So would you? So it's safe to say that you picked Seattle secondary is what you're saying. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
It's hard. It's hard not when they're three cornerbacks are in the top 20 in passes defended. That's not easy to do. That is not easy to do. When you have three cornerbacks in the same category, we're talking about Pro Bowl level guys. Like we're talking about three cornerbacks that are Pro Bowl level. You
Yeah.
know how crazy that is? There's teams that only have one Pro Bowl player. These guys have three guys in a cornerback room
Cough,
that can do
cough,
that. And they
Broncos,
have
Broncos.
and and they have a dude at safety that can play the ball anywhere.
Yep. So that puts up two for Seattle so far. Pretty good. I like to hear that. That's put nothing but a smile on my face, as you guys can see. Hope you guys are down in the comments telling us Seahawks, 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 Seahawks. Let me not be any hater, but hope the Patriots fans, y'all defend y'all rights. Y'all do what y'all need to for the squad. So moving down the lane, we also have one very interesting person who's gonna give us a very interesting part and their piece to what they think is put into KP, brother. The same rules apply. We got 5 minutes for you. If you have a point that you need to put out there, you're more than welcome to take as much time as necessary. But we would like to know who is your defensive line pick and your defensive secondary pick and or out of Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. Floor is yours, bro.
Now, when it comes to this defensive line and this defensive back, it's so close because like statistics, they're like right there. It's a yes, the Seahawks are the number one defense in the league, but um statistically, it's just you can see the. I mean, numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Devin Weatherspoon or Devon Weatherspoon. I mean, uh 72 tackles, one pick, seven pass defenses. You know what I'm saying? Just lethal. With half a sack. Just lethal. Nick, man, what more can I say, man? As a safety with 2.5 sacks, you don't see that a lot. Dealing with safeties because they're always playing in the backfield. So that within itself should just let you know what type of defense that Seattle has. For them to be comfortable enough to blitz a safety and still be able to cover all aspects of the field that they need to. I mean, that's just top tier right there. Uh, Kobe Bryant, 4 picks on the season, 7 pass breakups. I mean, amazing. He also at the safety position with 1.5 sacks. You know, those numbers from defensive backs, you can't get no better than that. You know what I'm saying? Josh Jobs, 12 pass breakups with a pick, amazing. But if this, like Ken Dog said, if this has to go to an MVP voting to a defensive player, it's gonna be somebody on the line. I mean, it's gonna be somebody in the middle linebacker or one of these defensive backs. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact it's so much talent on that field to where it can go either way. If one of these defensive linemen does decide to have a breakout game and end up getting 5 sacks, that's a Super Bowl MVP with performance within itself right there. So, you know, defensive backs, I got my eyes on Christian Gonzalez and I got my eyes on Kobe Bryant. If one of those two are able to be a game changing factor for their teams, I feel like either or is going to end up hoisting that trophy at the end because you like Tyler said, uh, defense win games, offense sells tickets. You know what I'm saying? So uh, I really feel like this is going to be a defensive game. Um, Now to get on the line, the topic about the defensive line. You know, top tier from both teams. Uh, top in the league in all categories. You know, Elijah Ponder, I felt like he was a sleeper. People were uh so focused on everybody else on that defensive side, but I mean, 4 sacks, 15 total tackles in 15 games. So that means that every game he played, he got a tackle. I I don't know what more can you need or want out of somebody like that. Milton Williams, phenomenal defensive tackle, 12 games played, 29 total tackles with 3.5 sacks. It's just amazing. Harold Landry the third, 8.5 sacks with 27 solos, 49 total. Listen, if Seattle wants to run this ball well and Seattle wants to run this ball efficiently, they have to get him out of the mix because if he's in there and he's beelining to the running back or to the quarterback and he gets a jump on that offensive line, he's able to get that right swim move or he's able to get that right strafe. It's going to be a long game for the Seattle Seahawks because just solely with him playing 15 games right along with Elijah Ponder and still managing to get 49 total tackles with 27 solos is amazing as far as defensive line. Now to finish up the last end, I'm going to go ahead and go to the Seattle defensive line, top tier as well. Byron Murphy, excuse me, 7 sacks, 62 total, 17 games played. Leonard Williams, same thing, 17 games, 62 sacks, also 62 tackles, excuse me, with also 7 sacks, 8 for loss. They get in that backfield when they need to, and they can do it at any single moment. So I have a lot of confidence in the Patriots offensive line to do what they have to do to make sure they can protect Drake May. And with the amazing running back that they have in Stevenson, I know that they're going to be able to do whatever they got to do. But like I said, same thing when we're talking about the Patriots defensive line, the same thing we're talking about the Seattle defensive line. If you allowed Byron Murphy to get in there, it's going to be a long game. A really long game. Leonard Williams as well. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of players on both sides that are able to affect the game, but it has to come from a defensive standpoint. We all know what they can do offensively. They got top tier players that are going to be game changer and playmakers, but this is going to have to be a defensive Super Bowl. They are going to have to put their defensive hats on. They're going to have to do it early, and they're going to have to keep that intensity all the way to halftime and past halftime. So, with that being said, I got Seattle on the defensive line, and when it comes to the defensive backs, I also have Seattle.
Okay. It sounds like we sound off Seattle well. I'm gonna go ahead and piggyback up on there. And formally, I'm very biased, and as much as I can, I want to be biased. I can't be the whole way towards. Um, Patriots have some real dogs on their side of the ball. Now, I might not be ideal to be on them because I have a lot of in my heart for them. But they there's some real dogs. In order to get this far into the game, you got to have some real players on their side of the ball, their side of the field. But either way it goes, I am gonna have to ride for my team, and this is from a non-biased standpoint. The Seattle Seahawks. To piggyback off of what everybody's saying, we have Byron Murphy, Demarcus Lawrence. Those two alone bring a tremendous defensive pressure. Get into the backfield, as said, as KP just said, anytime that need be, anytime that they want, is commendable. It's something to have. It's something great. And Demarcus Lawrence himself is having one hell of a year. It's great to speak from him coming from the Cowboys and just spending his time in Seattle, saying that Dallas was his home, and he understands no matter what, Dallas will always be his home. But he knew for a fact that he was not going to be able to get to the standpoint that he is unless he moved forward. So we're very thankful for a guy like him and to take his talents and choose us to be the ones to allow um him to showcase his art, his effort, and his ability to do what he had to. So my firm choice and pick is going to be onto the Seattle Seahawks line because they've done what needs to be as far as fourth quarter stops and pressures. Just to add in just a tad bit, I'm just going to show one quick clip just to put out there for you guys, so you guys can just same image that I have going on inside my head real quick. Always got to have something for the guys. But I kind of showed up a piece of it a second ago. As you can guys can see right there, we have Byron Murphy, the big dude himself, the big sexy, big macho. So going down, what is this right here? We're going down to a 3rd-and-1 situation, major situation for San Fran in order to put them on the board and where they needed to be in order to fight us during the time frame that had to happen. They were going for it. Okay, that's one thing that everybody can all put for. They had to go for it, especially on a 3rd-and-1 situation. That's obvious. Who wouldn't go for that? Seahawks. Anyways, but defense, amazing. Who do we already have around this corner right here? Mr. Man himself, ready for that action, for that power. But do we get to stop the stuff? Byron Murphy himself gets to the backfield inevitably on a 3rd-and-1 situation to stop them and push them back an extra 2 yards, keep them from going for it, and force the punt. Now that is unstoppable. I don't know how many defenses get to that point where it's a consecutive 4th down stop or a third conversion to stop, but this Seattle Seahawks defense, especially up front, has allowed arguably nothing. Okay, there's I'm not sure how much the math is. You guys can correct me down below. You know what I'm saying? But I think we allowed roughly about maybe about 115 points as far as scored on us. Defensively allowed. So I'm picking the defensive line for us as well. Now to delve into the secondary as well, I'm gonna have to be unbiased and hey, Mike McDonald. Trust me, you're the world's best, like greatest coach. I'm picking you over anybody. Don't hate me over this if you ever see it. But I'm gonna have to pick Patriots as far as for a few of their corners. I do understand that we have arguably some of the best corners ever, and there's not really much I can say on that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pick the Patriots on that part because our secondary solely relies on our safeties and our linebackers. If we're going to be blatant and honest, and we do a lot of zone coverage, so that kind of makes up for a lot of things that we're doing. We do have the intel or the what do you call it, the pieces necessary in order to do man coverage, but I don't think that that is a key coverage for us. We're usually in zone handling things how it needs to be handled. And that alone shows that majority of the time it's going to be our safety that's handling something because our corners are they are the best if you ask me, but I don't think that they are the best when it comes down to this matchup because I do believe who goes against who plays in a big calling of gameplay. Like say if I were to say let's put for example we'll use the San Fran game for example. That was a bad matchup inevitably because our defense was ready for that. But the Rams on the other hand, somebody like Puka Nakua was arguably unstoppable. You know what I mean? In the secondary for us, so we didn't really have any much people as far as cornerbacks, and we had to have Man Ward do a lot of our help. Staying on him on top of both sides of the field, whether anything was going down. So yeah, that aspect, I'm gonna have to go ahead and choose the Patriots for our corners. But as far as for safety wise, I will firmly stand on Seahawks. But Seahawks defense as a whole, I would like to say I go for you guys wholeheartedly, and that's the ball game that I would like to choose for my team and my choices. So what we have next up for the guys, we're actually gonna move forward to our next segment. We have highlighted pieces for anybody that would like to show anything that they feel like is proof. It's kind of more like an open talk situation where everybody can kind of discuss what they feel is transpiring, whether it may be their coach's choices and their injuries that's going on. Because like CJ said, we do have two major in talk side that I would like to discuss with the guys and see how they kind of feel that affects the game. So we do have Nick Warrior with a light ankle injury. Not sure if he's going to play, not wholeheartedly, but we also have the role that he is going, kind of a 50-50 ball there. Also, our leading touchdown scoring back, Zach Charbonnet, arguably freight train coming through. Mr. Jigga Train himself out for Super Bowl and the playoffs, undergoing surgery. Gonna be a key piece to our sideline adventures and moving. I kind of want to see what the guys have to say, how they feel towards any type of injury. CJ, buddy, you there?
Yes, sir. But with that being said, I'd just like to remind everyone of this play.
What's he got left? Pressure again. Jacked. Ball is out. And the Eagles have it.
Big man's got 8.
Milton Williams.
That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is Milton Williams. And one more thing. That's short that I was looking at. Here they go. Anywho, while I look for it, yes, yes, absolutely. Here, I'll show this play real quick too. But yes, absolutely, Nick Warrior's injury is a huge loss to the Seahawks. If he plays, he'll be a threat. But if he doesn't, he doesn't.
In motion, 4th down. Herbert.
Another thing, right up the middle. And Seattle's weak point on the offensive line is right up the middle. So if if Milton Williams can find a way to exploit that, I believe that the Seahawks will suffer wholeheartedly.
I could actually going throughout the season watching my team, we are kind of weak when it comes down to them. That's why we don't have a lot of our inside zone. To look back at a couple Kenneth Walker highlights to see that as well. That's a you
Mhm.
can use the last game. He had to get that juke off in order to get an extra like 3-4 yards. So yeah, I can attest to that. Our middle lane is a tad bit weaker than what I would want to say it is. It could do a lot better. I openly that in Milton Williams so far, especially with the clip just shown. I will openly say that's a problem that we will have to look out for.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mickey man,
I
Warrior
wanted to show that
man.
clip, but I have to find that clip. But while you do that, someone else can go ahead. Oh, here you go.
I
It's
guess
open
the
chat, man.
Patriots shouldn't
Buddy,
even
if you
show
guys have
up to the
anything you
Super
guys
Bowl.
want to say, go
Everyone
ahead.
is picking the Seahawks to win Super Bowl 60. No one's giving
It's
them
I'd say
a
mostly it's
shot.
just
I think
the
it's done it.
injuries. You know, Nick Imamore. Is that how you say his name?
And Warrior.
Eamon Ward. Yeah, he didn't
Man
participate
Ward.
in practice, so I'm pretty sure they're giving him around the clock, treatment on that ankle. Do I think it's gonna hinder the Seahawks in any type of way? I don't think so. Just because they have so many pieces on that defense, to where if one is not at 100%, there's other players that's going to be able to fill in to make sure that everything is going to be, pretty smooth. Like to piggyback off of what Tyler said, yes, they do run a lot of zone coverages, but at the same time, they're able to get into their spots immediately. They read the quarterback's eyes. They do everything that they are supposed to do in order to get into the position to allow their defense to play well and play to the standard that they're supposed to play at, plus still get their offense into a good rhythm as well. Injuries for the Patriots, a lot of limited practices, Morgan Moss, veteran rest. So, they're just trying to make sure they got their players at 100%. We got Joshua Farmer coming back off from IR. So, to be able to come back from IR in a situation like this, that's a beautiful beautiful timing. Beautiful timing. Uh, Drake May, dealing with a shoulder and illness. I don't think that's gonna hinder them in any type of way. It's also dealing with Sam Darnold and the oblique. I don't. They've had more than enough time to get full around the clock treatment to those specific injuries. Drake May is also dealing with an illness. I'm not sure if it's like a cold or anything, but if so, pretty sure that's not gonna have any type of effect on the game when it's time for him to play. Everybody else, as far as like on the injury list, Seahawks full participation. A couple of players in Robbie and Charles that was on limited participation, but I mean, other than that, same thing for the Patriots. Just limited. Harold Landry, he didn't participate, but I don't think that's gonna hinder anything for him. So yes, a lot of injuries. Key players got a little banged up, but I mean, this is football. I don't expect anybody going into a Super Bowl or even a playoff, series to or a playoff game to be at 100%. But I don't think any of this is going to affect any of these players on any level.
I can
Solid
Very
point.
true.
Solid point. And I found the clip that I was talking about, so I'll just play it here.
Important than they need to be if they are as dominant towards the weak part of the Seahawks, their interior offensive line, like I believe they can. Milton Williams is straight up the best defensive player the Patriots has. He is a dominant force to interior offensive lines. When he was out of the games for the Patriots in the middle part in that back half of the season, they fell off a cliff. And when he came back instantly, they were right back to being a top defense in the league. It is night and day with and without him. And when he's getting double teamed, oh so much like he usually does. Christian Barmore, very good player in his own right, but definitely benefits from Milton Williams' dominance. He gets free shots at the quarterback like this. Milton Williams does have big game experience as well. Last year's Super Bowl, he was dominant again. He got a massive hit on Mahomes, forced a massive strip sack fumble. So yeah, Milton Williams can take the pressure off Drake May and Christian Gonzalez if he is as dominant as I believe he can be in this game. Milton Williams.
And then adding on to what I said in the past, I believe something that doesn't get talked a lot about, or something that doesn't get talked a lot, is the experience of Coach Vrabel. Uh, in this playoffs, we've seen a lot of times where Coach Vrabel's clock management has been held charge of institution, and then the Patriots just lollygag taking their time. But that goes in their favor, and it is within the rules, so you can do that legally, yes. And within the rules, if the offense makes a substitution, the defense is allowed to make a substitution. However, there is no time limit, and the clock is gonna run. So what that means, the Patriots have done that a lot, and if we see that, I feel like it's gonna help them in their favor. And of the last 13 Super Bowl winners, nine have been won by the team with a more experienced head coach, which favors New England. That's not to discredit Mike McDonald at any point, because he is a great coach. Obviously, we saw him at the Ravens, how great that defense was and how great the defense is now. But historically, the more experienced coach has won. But of course, that goes for underdogs. And I believe this season, I think when the spread is 4.5, and when the spread is about I think 5 or lower, the underdog typically covers the spread, as we've seen in this season. So that's just going on to show. And everyone's ruling out the Patriots, and I feel like because they're ruling them out, they have that underdog mentality, and they're like, well, everyone counted us out, so we have a lot to fight for, and let's just go and show them why this quote unquote easy schedule is a fluke, because they've still played well despite that easy schedule. You know.
Regardless of what everybody's saying,
Nonetheless, it's gonna be a fantastic game, though.
yeah,
Nonetheless.
100%, 100%. I want to say this, and as my nemesis for the ongoing game. Uh, a lot of people have said, even myself, yeah, I've said it myself, but I had faith in the team, and I said this in the beginning. I was like I said before, way back. If I had more clips to show all the way back into August, I said I really hope we see the Patriots again in the Super Bowl. We're here now, baby. But a lot of people wanted to say, including myself, that the Patriots had an easy schedule, and I do still stand by it. But nonetheless, they are the people who decided to take that easy schedule and change it into their own destiny and to put it into their own words and make it to how it's supposed to be. And them being as great of a team as they are, they made it all the way up here to the Super Bowl. Now, I know everybody wants to say, "Oh, they could have lost to the Broncos, or they should have lost here, they should have lost there." But by all means, luck is a part of the game. Most
That's true.
people don't want to agree, but I tell you openly right now, luck is a part of the game. So if you lose, the
100%.
luck wasn't on your
And
side. That's just how it is. You know.
percent. Adding on to
So
what you said too, I feel like this was a very, very, very wide open playoff run, and yeah, the people were saying the Patriots had an easy schedule, but the playoffs is a different ball game. C.J. Stroud could have been there in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen could have been there. Um, Trevor Lawrence could have been there in the Super Bowl. Who else? Who else? Who else? Justin Herbert could have been in the Super Bowl. However, the
yeah,
Patriots just found ways to win the game, and because they found ways to win the game, yeah, the results may have been sloppy or the performance may have been sloppy, but time and time again, they find ways to win the game, and that's what you need in this league. And if they can find a way to do that in the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 6 is going to go back to New England.
yep, 100%. That's why I think the ball game can reside with either one. But to for everybody else that's going on, I will agree. This is where the game goes down to a real defensive flourish of a game. Okay. If either side of the defense is lacking, it will tilt in the standpoint towards the other team. Okay. Because the numbers and stat lines are arguably very even on either sides of the balls. Yes, we have a lot of spectacular side going on in Seattle that everybody likes to see. JSN and She Shaheed and Kenneth Walker and everything that's going on. Now, in reverse, the Patriots are doing the same thing. Okay. Might not be as pretty, it might not be the same way, whatever y'all see on the clips is going on, but the Patriots are doing the exact same thing. Okay. So this game that's about to happen is go either way. Me personally, as much as I want to say it's going 100% the Seahawks because I love the Seahawks down to death and I die by it. Like I said, you poke me right now, you see the same thing I'm wearing. But if you know anything about football, any of the football commentators that's out there and the sports analysis that's out there that they got their own things and own standpoints to say, you'll know that any given Sunday, anything can happen. It can go to either side of the ball, either way, either half at any point in time. We've seen it several times, especially for my team personally. So like the fumble recovery, the fumble recovery against the Rams. That backward pass, kind of crazy, mind blowing. You know, things happen. Um, Patriots still 1-1 team, best in their division, arguably the best on that whole side ever. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to beat a franchise like that that's that good, injury or not. When you have a quarterback as good as them, you have a receiver, Stephon Diggs, who has something to prove this year. With a lot of people, especially not to get into the argumental side, but with a lot of things that he has going on in his current life going on right. He has a lot of things to prove before moving. I'm really anxious to see what they're gonna do out there today, or not today, excuse me, but Sunday. I'm anxious to see how great they're gonna play. I want to see the matchup that they're gonna have going towards against Seattle coming up. So those are my thought process. Once again, top 10 pick, my top fan pick, just to wrap around all the way to our first point, just picking Seattle, no matter what. That's what I die by. That's just what I got to do. Now, moving on here, we're kind of extended a lot of the time that we had because I guess the conversation, a lot of great topics, a lot of great points that we had here. Uh, Welcome in. We'd like to thank everybody for watching us today here in Quiet Life Discussions, where we have CJ, Kenny, KP, and me, your host, Quiet Life Travis. Nice to have you. If you guys have any discussions or anything that you guys would ever like to have us to talk about, or anything that you guys would like to hear about, anything going around the world, whether it be sports related or ongoing things in life, in the matter where it be political or things like that that we can really dive into, let us know in the comment section below. At the same token, please like, comment, subscribe, and keep us on your mind. Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We
Yep.
shall
Beautiful,
see
beautiful first episode.
I
Sunday,
was, yeah,
February 8th, 3:30.
I was gonna ask. I won't lie. I was gonna ask, where were y'all in February 7th, 2016, when the 15-1 Panthers played the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl 10 years ago?
You know, Drake May was
Wait,
actually at that game, right? And that game was
what?
in Santa Clara.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago, man. Super Bowl 50 was 10 years ago.
That is 10 years ago. Drake May was at
Damn.
that game wanting to do. Okay. Yeah.
Like I did want to do it as a bonus clip, but I